this actually be the one that saves it all? Could this actually be the Marvel Messiah? Turns out, different shirt today. Who knew? What's going on, guys, and welcome to my review of Deadpool and Wolverine. A film that's been on most people's radar list, damn near everybody's radar, especially mine. Something that's been on everybody's playlist, and now that it's finally here, worth the wait. Thank you so much, guys, as always, for clicking here. I really do appreciate it. So in this third entry, you have Wade Wilson, who is ripped away from his quiet life by an organization called the Time Variance Authority, TVA, who tells him that his world is going to end. He is then forced to team up with another Wolverine from another universe, an even more reluctant Logan, to try and save it, while also fighting the evil Cassandra Nova from the Void. As I said, this is something that many has been waiting for and anticipating for a long while, to where you have a concept involving Deadpool and Wolverine. A dream come true for most, one might say. Was this everything I imagined? Did this give me everything I wanted? Or was this just another Marvel snap? Starting off with the positives for Deadpool and Wolverine, I felt like that this is the first step to actually get things back on track. I felt like that this was one of those rare occasions, very rare occasions, that actually started to feel like a Marvel Comics film. It didn't feel like some cheap exposition IP where it just felt like they wanted to spit something out just for the hell of it. This felt like a true MCU film. It felt like it had a reason to exist. Again, that's something that's been really missing from the MCU, where they have like just one after another just coming out just for the hell of it. This didn't feel like that. As many of us know, the MCU has been on a downward slump for a while now, just a downward heel, just a really grim road, regrettably. But I'm hoping that this may be the one that actually saves it. Maybe the one that will pick this universe right back up again. The one that might save it all.
I'm the Messiah. I am Marvel Jesus.
Okay, I'm getting way ahead of myself. But it did feel like a huge win. It's already blowing up at the box office. It's already doing well critically and commercially. But actually, we'll just have to see what the next few MCU films will do and what they will bring to the table. So maybe we can hopefully get back into that, and not exactly quite like this, but maybe we can start trying to get back into that feel of the Winter Soldier and Civil War and Infinity War and Endgame, just that era, to where it was just king. But we'll see. We never know. We'll just see. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds were gold in this. If you want a perfect match, here you go. These guys were perfect. You have Hugh Jackman, who's been doing this part, who's been playing this part for 24 years, ever since the first X-Men back in 2000. And all that time, he still makes the character. And he hadn't missed a beat. And I swear, this guy was born to play this part, which is why they never, even in the Fox era, they never, ever looked for anybody else. Even in the prequel type ones where you have the younger Xavier and the younger Magneto, they never even added Wolverine in half of those, but the ones that they did, it was still him. Hugh Jackman was born to play this part. That's why I really do feel for the day when he actually can't not play this part anymore. I feel sorry for the poor sap that they get to replace him, because that's all we've never ever known is Hugh Jackman as that part. So I would feel sorry for the next person that they get to play with all the, well, he not know Hugh Jackman, and he's not this, he's not that. I feel sorry for him, whoever that might be, but I'm sorry, that's just too grim to think about. Moving on, my bad. But the piece de resistance of what I really want to say is, after 15 years, they finally got a movie to where they have an actual proper on-screen presence of these two, which where the last time these two were seen was in that god-awful X-Men Origins Wolverine, where Ryan Reynolds played some character. It wasn't Deadpool. I mean, we all know that how crappy that was. We don't even know what the hell that was. But Here, they definitely redeemed themselves 110% on that. I'm just glad that they moved on from that nonsense and they actually redeemed themselves and resurrected this character, especially in the form of Deadpool, to how it's supposed to be. And you get Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds as these two characters with the proper on-screen time like they are now. It was definitely worth it. Like I said, that last one was just crap. This is done right. Like 110% right. They lit up the screen like Christmas in July. Literally. Their chemistry, their banter, the like-hate relationship between the two. It's just pure magic. And they couldn't have done it any better when it came to Deadpool and Wolverine.
Want to talk about what's haunting you, or should we wait for a third act flashback?
Go fuck yourself.
Even the fact that they changed Logan's suit to the yellow suit, which is something I know, even though I never read the comics, I know that was something big in the comics. I've seen pictures. That counts for something. But I even loved that part of it. Like, not only did they improve Deadpool, they improved the Wolverine character as well. This was a fresh perspective, a fresh take, especially in the sense of the films. It felt new. It's something that the Fox Universe films never bothered to do, like, at all. It was always that gothic black suit, but still, it feels more proper. Even though I'm not a comic book reader, it still feels more proper. And this goes along with that self-awareness, which I'll get into here in a minute. It really fits what Marvel is trying to do, especially in the new era of these characters. And speaking of the banter and just the all-out humor, it was right on the money. 90%, no, I really should say 100% of the jokes landed just right. I was dying laughing the whole time, like expeditiously. And this makes my second time watching this. The comedy in this is just, wow. I've been saying for a while that comedy is kind of dead. If every single comedy was like this, yeah, give me a foul-mouthed, raunchy comedy like this, especially in the MCU, any day. I'll like it. With all the fourth wall jokes that has made this character ever since the beginning, ever since this proper rendition of the character, all the Disney and Fox jokes about how Disney acquired Fox, and all the 20th Century Fox jokes on how they buried the can once and for all, about how that's pretty much dead, that era is pretty much dead. That was handled just beautifully. It was just executed just perfectly. Even jokes about Kevin Feige, the president over Marvel, it just pure gold. And just all those jokes, all those meta references, I don't know if you can call it meta, but still, they just landed just perfectly, just right. And I just felt tears coming down my eyes just about the whole entire time because of that. They're very good at making fun of themselves, that's for sure. I mean, they definitely had a sense of humor about themselves. They definitely knew how to loosen up. Very self-aware, as well executed, well done. Since Disney owns Fox now, a lot of people were worried about how they were going to dumb it down and just tame them, put handcuffs on them, and censor them and all that. I'm here to tell you right now that you still get the same foul mouth, smack-talking merc with a mouth, and if so, they even ramped it up a few notches for this, even more than those Fox first two films. But needless to say, I was so happy. The action was off the chain. You go to a Deadpool and Wolverine movie, you're getting a lot of action. That's for dang sure. They definitely deliver on that front. They definitely executed that just perfectly. You get it all. Even the gore. They even ramped that up as well, as opposed to those first two films, which made the pacing perfectly. Once the film begins, it never lets up. From beginning to end, it just felt like a constant roller coaster ride. So much so that it didn't even feel like 2 hours. It felt more like an hour and 40. It was such a fun ride for a little over 2 hours. And you got cameos galore without giving anything away. Don't worry, spoiler free, mum's the word. Of course, some were announced that we already knew of even before this movie came out, but others will literally shock you, especially one that shocked me the most, that I was not expecting to show up, like, at all, and how much I love this character. Oh, you definitely bet that I was this close to cheering at the screen, to just going, yes! Oh yeah, that's how good it was, especially how much I love that character. I was just complete blindsided in such an awesome way. It's just something I wasn't expecting at all, and man was I grateful. Moving on, the way that they utilized these cameos were actually spot on. You know, we've been getting a lot of Marvel and DC stuff to where they just throw in cameos and these nostalgic figures just for the hell of it, just for the fan service of it. But in this, they actually serve a purpose that's detrimental to the story. And that's something that we hardly ever get. But in this, they actually utilized that perfectly. And it's just something that I really loved, especially because they served a purpose to the story. And it's just something that we don't never get. And it's something that I really deeply respected and appreciated for this. They just felt like they were a part of the story, involved in the story, and not just somebody in the background where you can say, oh yeah, there's that guy, oh there she is, oh there's that character, oh yeah, I remember him, I remember her. It wasn't nothing like that. It was actually a purposeful use for these characters, which made this film even more special and stand out even more, and just separated it from all those other films that does the same thing over and over. This one actually utilizes them perfectly and respected them down to a T because of that. And I really did appreciate that a lot. Even the villain in Cassandra Nova, which didn't feel like this cliche of a character like most of these other films have been. Played by Emma Corrin, I thought she did a really good job. She's Charles Xavier's sister, which I had no idea he had a sister. It goes to show you how much of a comic book reader I am, which is zilch. She was pretty cool. Like I said, I didn't think she was this cliche, this niche of a character that just gets thrown in there and just doesn't really feel like too villainous enough because she's just so watered down. I thought she actually did a really good job, and just her presence on screen was enough for me. And I thought she did a really good job. I thought she was pretty cool. She didn't feel like a dud. She didn't feel useless. I thought she was just as detrimental to the story as the cameos were. And I thought she held her own for sure. Moving on to my mix, which involves the story. Now, I did enjoy the story from what they were telling. About Deadpool trying to save his universe and teaming up with this Wolverine and try to, save this universe while fighting this evil Cassandra character. Yes, I can get behind that. It's very comic bookish. It's what you would expect from a film like this. But at this point, I feel like that the Deadpool character is more important than anything else. I feel like people kind of just go to these movies just so they can see what Deadpool's up to and his shenanigans and his crazy outbursts. Now, I get that now that he's a part of the MCU that they had to make it a bigger, grander scale. But I feel like that's not what real people care about. I mean, who cares what other things is going on in the background? As much as I love the story, as much as a big deal I thought it was, especially for a comic book film, is what you expect, I wanted to just solely see Deadpool and Wolverine do their thing, fight, and whether it's fighting each other or fighting others, that's kind of where my main focus was. But again, I appreciated the story for what it was, but I just feel like at this point, that's not what really enticed me to go see this. It was Deadpool and Wolverine. That was it. But again, I appreciated the story for what it was. It goes back to that Marvel feel, that true MCU Avengers type feel, which for an MCU movie, I agree, that makes sense. Separate from those Fox first two films, which was pretty simple. But he's in the MCU universe now, so there's that. But again, I appreciated the story for what it was. I just cared more about Deadpool and Wolverine than anything else. So, folks, I have no negatives. I have no negatives on this. It was an absolute fun ride. So if you're somebody who is looking for one hell of a good time at the movie theater, someone who is expecting an edge-of-your-seat true Marvel galore, a perfect rendition of these characters, and someone expecting to see these two major Hovac, look no further. This is definitely a must-own film. So Deadpool and Wolverine, what was your thoughts on this? Were you a fan of this? Are you somebody that absolutely loved this? Was this your most favorite and most anticipated film of all time? Was this worth the wait? Or did the most recent Marvel film stain any hope? So much so that you just gave up all hope and just don't care for any more? If so, I'm so sorry to hear that. Deadpool Wolverine is actually worth it. Go check it out. If there's anything that you want to take away from this review, just heed my words. and go see it. Especially if you was once a Marvel fan. This should recapture and redeem your faith just a little bit, and just thank me later. Leave me a comment down below and give me your thoughts. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. And as always, make sure to click that bell icon, set it to all so you don't miss a thing. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.